New Year's is just around the corner, and this is the time of year when people start thinking, how to improve my life? If you're wondering that, check out this video. Hi, my name is Tiffany Toombs. I'm a high-performance mindset coach that has worked with thousands of people around the world to help them leave behind mental blocks so that they can totally and dramatically improve every area of their life. In this video, I'm going to share with you my top 3 tips for improving your life, whether it's for a New Year's resolution or just you're ready to make a change. The first and most important thing that we have to do on our healing journey is we have to heal any trauma and we need to release emotional baggage. Now, I have a couple other videos about what trauma truly is where I go deep into that topic. I want you to know that most people, when they think of trauma, they think of what we call big T traumas. And these are things like abuse, bullying, an accident, war, natural disaster. But trauma is actually our perception of an event at the moment that it happened. Now, it's anytime we perceive that our needs are not being met. And we have 2 primary needs that we need met, especially as children. Those are safety and security, and the most important is love, connection, and acceptance. So if we feel that we're not being loved or we feel that we're not safe in a moment, that can actually be traumatic, regardless of what age we are. So things like having a parent with a mental health condition, having to care for a parent or a sibling as a child, having a parent who was emotionally unavailable or who worked a lot, having a parent who didn't allow you to express your emotions. If I was to create a video on all the things that could be traumatizing, we would be here for hours. But I want you to know that the number 1 step that you have to take to improving your life is you have to stop denying what happened to you, stop denying that it impacted you, and allow your body and your mind to truly heal from it. I want you to think of your body and your mind like a garbage can. And every time you have a negative experience or a traumatic experience, you feel rejected, you feel alone, you feel abandoned, you feel criticized, your body holds on to that emotion. And over time, that bucket starts to fill up until it's so full that any little thing, somebody bumps into you in the hallway and it causes you to explode. And it's because when that bucket is full, we don't have the ability to access the logical parts of our mind. Studies have actually shown that the more trauma and emotional baggage that we hold on to, the more stress it creates in the body, which means the less ability we have to access our intellect, our logic, and our reason. And so we become controlled by our emotions. We become people who just lash out and can't manage how we're feeling in a specific moment. So it is imperative that we stop denying what happened to us and we start emptying out that trash can. Now, with my clients, I personally use NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and hypnosis to access the unconscious mind. And we see dramatic results very, very quickly in terms of both how they feel, but also their behaviors that they're engaging in because we release that old emotional baggage. Now, contrary to what a lot of people say in this self-help, personal development world, dealing with your emotions is not going for a run. It's not having a drink. It's not doing more work. It's not making more money or getting better grades. All of those are forms of suppressing our emotions. The only way we can truly release the emotions from our body is to experience them. So we have to feel our way through this. Now, before I share with you the second thing that you can do to help improve your life, I want to remind you to subscribe to my channel. I am putting out brand new videos every single week to help you master your mind and take total control and ownership of your life. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. The second powerful tool that you have at your disposal right now to improve your life is to start practicing gratitude. What studies have shown is that the human mind is actually programmed with what's called a negative bias. This worked so well for the cavemen. They would walk out of their cave, they would hear a rustling in the bushes, and they would assume it was a saber-toothed tiger that could kill them. the cavemen who wandered out and they were like, oh, I'm sure it's just a squirrel. Eventually they got eaten and they didn't pass on their bloodlines. Darwinism, or survival of the fittest, at work. So this negative bias served the cavemen. But what that means, what survival of the fittest means, is that that trait got passed down. We live in a society today where the majority of the population doesn't have saber-tooth tigers or bears or any killer animals at its doorstep. And so instead, our mind perceives things like emails and demanding bosses and crying babies as that saber-tooth tiger. And so it becomes easier for us to look at all the negative things in our life, all the negative things or the things that we hate about ourselves, all the things we're stressed out about, all the bad in the world. It becomes easier to identify those things than it does the positive. In fact, I did a small study on this with some of the people in my audience, and I asked them, what is easier for you to do? Name 5 things that you love about yourself or 20 things that you really don't like about yourself. And almost everybody who answered responded that it was easier to name the 20 things they didn't like about themselves. This is the negative bias at work. So we can reprogram that negative bias by practicing gratitude. Now, what that means is that intentionally we are taking time every single day to think about and really feel grateful for the things that we have, things that happened in our day, or people that we have in our life. Now, some people choose to write down what they're grateful for. Some people choose to share it with a friend or a family member. Other people just take time to meditate. The most important thing about practicing gratitude in a way that will have it reprogram your mind and therefore improve your life is you actually have to feel it. So if you're writing down what you're grateful every day, but you're doing it like stressed out and rushed so that you can go to bed or so that you can get on to the next activity, it's probably not going to reprogram your life. But if you're taking even just a minute a day to really think about all the things that you have that you are so grateful for, that is what is going to improve your life. And it is an incredibly empowering and life-changing practice. Before I share with you my 3rd tip for improving your life, I want to hear from you. Do you currently practice gratitude? And if so, have you been actually feeling grateful or just writing down things that you're grateful for? Go to the comments below and let me know. The 3rd thing that you can do to start to really improve your life quickly is to actually set a goal and create a plan of the actions that you need to take to reach that goal. As the saying goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Did you know that less than 3% of the world's population actually sets goals? And of those 3%, only 1% actually creates a plan on how to achieve the goals. This seems so crazy to me, but it's true. So what I recommend is setting a goal. It doesn't matter if it's a 1-year goal, a 5-year goal, a 10-year goal, just set a goal. What is it that you want to move towards? Then I like to reverse engineer my plans to achieve this goal. So write your goal up in the top corner of a piece of paper and then ask yourself, what happened just before I reached that goal? 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 So let's say you run your own business, for example, and you have a goal to make $100,000 in the next year. And the product that you sell is $1,000. Well, if you then figure out the math on that, it is you need 100 people to pay you $1,000 to get to $100,000, which breaks down to 8.3 people a month. Since there's not really a 0.3, let's round it up to 9 people a month to sign up with you in order to get that. Now, let's say you decide you're going to run a monthly webinar where you're going to sell people into this $1,000 product. Well, if you have a 50% show up rate, so 50% of the people who register show up, and 25% closing rate, so 25% of the people who show up actually then buy from you, what you need to do is you need to have 40 people register, have 20 people. You need to have 40 people register, which means 20 people will show up, and that gives you your 9 people registering a month. From there, all you have to figure out is what activities do you need to do, what marketing do you need to do to get 40 people to register on a monthly basis, and there is your action plan to hit your goals. It's the same if you want to lose weight, if you want to change any aspect of your life, set a goal and then create an action plan around how you will achieve that goal. Now, one of the most common things that I hear from people as they set out to improve their life is that things like fear and imposter syndrome and other mental blocks kick in to stop them from truly taking action. So I put together the 5-day Mind Mastery Challenge. This is a totally free challenge, and I'm going to give you 5 different exercises to help you completely overcome fear, imposter syndrome, to help you manage time better, and so much more. All you have to do to get free access to this challenge at any time is go to nlpworksheet.com or click on the link in the description. Thanks for watching.